Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Off the Scribe podcast. I have with me a very, very special guest. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you like the show. Share it. It's on all the podcasting platforms. I have Janique Bailey. How are you?
Hello. Very well.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey. Yeah,
Thank
I
you again.
should. Yeah, I should have come prepared with a kind of costume of my own. I have,
You should have.
yes, I have a nice little,
This isn't really a costume though. It's just kind of like
yeah, it's just an outfit, but no, it's not. No.
Ooh, those are great.
Yeah, those are cool. I remember the old, if you ever watched anime, you remember the old kind of Helsing. See?
Very nice, very nice.
Yes. So like Alucard, yeah, the Dracula type figure, yeah, in the show. Yeah, I like him very much, and I like the show. But we're here to talk about you and talk to you, and hear you talk to the audience and me, talking to me, talking to you. You talk to me. So introduce yourself if you would like.
Sure. Hello, my name is Janique, and I'm currently a model and fine art, illustration, and photography, and I'm a dancer as well.
Yeah. So when did you ever want to become an artist, or you always wanted to become a kind of a creative, as you put it?
I think actually, yes, it's been a long time dream of mine. I think from back as I can remember, my first desire was to get into the fashion industry, and I ended up going to school at Academy of Art University in San Francisco for my degree, bachelor's in fine art.
Are you from San Francisco?
I'm sorry?
Were you from San Francisco originally?
No, I'm from the East Coast.
Oh.
I'm from the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Amish country.
That's good to know. Amish country?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, you're not getting away so easily, but go on.
Yes, no, that's also another topic. But anyway, yes, so I think I was interested in, I don't know, I guess visuals. I was interested in how people express themselves, how I wanted to express myself. And I think also me living in the middle of nowhere really prompted me, I think, to really do more research and do a lot more reading. And I think also growing up in the music world as well, I play the violin. So I think I've always kind of been dabbling in doing art. And I think I never really realized, like, I don't know, it didn't take me till now to have become so-called artist. I've been doing multiple arts, as I mentioned, since for a really long time. But I guess, yes, to have the recognition is always, very nice, and I'm very much appreciated. But yes, I think once I kind of like figured out the fashion thing, and I think I sort of dived back into what I discovered and learned in university when it's actually where I first discovered fine art, nude modeling. We had 6-hour illustration classes with an incredible model named Tony. Shout out to Tony. I don't know if he's around anywhere.
Yeah.
Tony,
insert surname. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tony, insert surname. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. He's just Tony. He's so fabulous. Tony. But I don't know if he was teaching with Dale.
Oh, it's a dude. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's still there, but I hope so. If he's still there, shout out. Thank you for inspiring me. But
he's still walking around in the nude. Yeah. Sorry? He's still walking around in the nude. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I hope so. I hope he is. But yes, so I think my interest in art definitely grew once I was thrown into doing all these things. I didn't have any previous training before, and so I think just the aspect of it being something new interested me. And I was like, okay, I know how to dance. I'm already a dancer, but what's something that I haven't really, ever tried before? And so that's kind of where art came in a different form. So I think, like I mentioned, I was used to doing, movement art form, but inserting and expressing myself in this different way. I think it grew definitely. But I've always been interested in just art in general. I loved going to the museum, and I think I was so interested in needing to know things, because where I came from, there was just so much nothingness. So I was always just like really, I had like very few friends. I had like one best friend that I even still talk to today, but it was just, I think, really, I haven't really, all thanks to living, I think, in that environment, I really had to, go up and dive in on my own. And I think it's definitely, create who I am today, and my interest in all the arts, and like, in music and dance. And
so you kind of ran away from one polar to the polar opposite.
Yes, it's like, get me as far away as possible from you.
Can you, if you're willing to talk a bit about that transformation or transition from going from the middle of nowhere, which I don't know how one does something like this, from being nowhere to suddenly being somewhere. So how does that happen?
How does it happen? I don't know. I think, I don't know. There's so many points I could like touch upon with this question, but I think I just have always had a desire to travel, to experience new places. Obviously, this isn't like, it's super profound. Everyone does, but I think just having no diversity around me, having no, like, just literally countryside, I think just really propelled me to want to go and to see other places. And I actually had family on the West Coast also, so I was not like completely new to the West Coast, but obviously I never lived there before. But I think it's also thanks to my parents, who they really pushed us to have these experiences that they didn't get to have at a young age. And so I was involved in a lot of like leadership programs. I was always traveling around for my performances, and we didn't have Christmas at home. We would always go away on holiday and go travel somewhere. And so I think, I really felt thanks to my parents for my like sort of nomadic desire and lifestyle. But I think also just my desire of loving different types of people. I need the option of being able to like have nothingness, but also be able to go out and like and be inspired. I think everyone needs a little bit of a balance of that, to just kind of explore and see what's out there in this crazy thing called life.
So you have this kind of a view of maybe a happy-go-lucky kind of existence, wanting to get a taste of everything. And I mean everything, no. But kind of where do you situate your kind of position in life, where you're kind of integrating your art, dance, fine arts, trying to express yourself? Where does that kind of river flow? What is the channel that you use to express yourself and to kind of experience existence in this current moment?
How do I kind of tie everything in together to create this current moment? Is that the question? Well, I will start back as I guess, I know it's not a non-compliment to say I'm having a lucky person, but because I think that's good. I think everyone should be. But I think I guess I've so-called always been this way, but I haven't really seen myself in that way. I'm like, also, I can be very pessimistic about, I'm like, anxiety
Yes.
about about climate change, recycling, all of this stuff. Like,
Yes.
so I definitely don't, definitely not, I don't ignore any, issues, obviously, with myself, my culture, what's going on, it's exciting. However, though, I feel like when I really came to Europe, I really shed like 1,000 layers. I like broke out of, not prison, people are really in prison, but sort of broke out of like the structural mental prison that I didn't realize that I had just growing up in the States, growing up with how capitalism is today. And so I feel, and how just people choose to live their everyday life. It's like definitely has evolved a lot more since I moved just about 3 years ago now. And I think people are, and obviously there's a pandemic and blah, 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 lots of stuff happening since then. But I think it kind of, my happy-go-lucky, if anything, spirit, it kind of sort of exploded when I came out and found so much more freedom here. I think working in sex positivity a lot, not my whole career, but the majority of my career, I've been working in the erotic sex positive world. And I feel like Europe really kind of has a bigger and more mature at times take on this topic. The US is definitely better in getting there as far as just kind of seeing the body as art, the new body, and not being afraid of it. And I also grew up in a religious home, very Christian, and my mom was always like, we were to be covered up, modest, and so
yes,
I think I just
covered up now.
Yes, I know, because I'm always nude now, so I'm like, when I put on clothes,
yes,
people, not all,
yes,
I'm mostly nude, but not all the way.
Yeah. Are you a cat lady? You seem like a cat lady to me.
Am I a cat lady? I mean, yes, I do have a fiance. His name is Ilya.
Yeah, so your fiance is a cat.
What?
Your fiance is a cat.
Is a cat?
No, I asked if you were a cat lady.
Okay, and I think I said, so I guess yes, but I don't know. Like we're getting married, but I don't know what answer you're looking for right now.
Okay. I don't.
That means
okay, moving on.
If I'm taken, and yes, I am taken. Yes.
Okay, that wasn't my question, but it doesn't matter.
When you say you're a kept lady, what does this mean?
A cat lady.
Oh, cat lady. I was like,
yes, no.
I was like, I'm not going off topic. It was you. Oh my gosh, yes, I am a definite cat lady. My baby Luna is on the cat bed over here, but yes, it's a cat house.
Yes, fancy cats, yes.
She's pretty fancy. She's pretty sassy.
Yeah.
She's great.
So,
yeah, I love her.
Yes, let's do it. Finally. Okay. But
you were asking me, yes, how I intermingle everything together. But then we were also talking about too many topics. Okay, I'll go back. So anyway, yes, I found myself, I guess, more attracted to Europe and what's going on over here. I wanted to definitely just discover, because yes, like as I mentioned, they have more of like a maturity when it comes to the body as an art. And I think that's something, I think in all my career, it's been kind of leading up to all of this. And so I think at this point, though, how everything is intersecting is kind of sort of sharing with everyone my journey to truth, which is just knowledge, basically. So I'm able to kind of incorporate things that I think make me who I am, and however, in the themes, whatever I'm sharing or teaching, or something that, I really resonate with or find like super dope, and that I feel people should also know. I feel like I'm learning definitely a lot more things on my own and through self-discovery than I did through recent education. Not that education was not, it was very useful. Obviously, I owe a lot to my education, but it's having like a really super fun time, kind of being able to just kind of do my own thing, and people also and seeing and being able to share things that I enjoy. And I'm like, I hope you guys, here's what I'm what I'm doing. Hope you all enjoy it too. And
yes,
so,
yes,
kind of
I hope you are.
And fun. So yeah.
I just wrote down, if you can see kept lady. You see, I wrote that down because it was such a stupid kind of a discovery. So I wrote down kept lady, married. So,
I was like, kept. I was like,
so,
I don't know why I'm a cat. I don't know what's wrong.
It's such a brilliant term that I had to write it down. You're a kept lady. Yes.
It's an old term. It's simply, it's like a,
whoa.
Beyond old school is like.
Yes, it sounds like it.
But I was, you know, I answered.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. So let's talk about something a little less controversial, the kind of burlesque. What did you kind of get into that world, that sordid world, but at the very least, it's a form of art. One can argue or claim, but why did you want to get into that world of, it's also a kind of a show business aspect.
Yes, most definitely. I think was definitely a thing that grew, but it's definitely started in high school. I was obsessed with Dita Von Teese in high school.
Oh.
And so I was just like in awe of her. And it was, so by the time I got in university, I was heavily into the 40s lifestyle.
Yeah.
I was like only shopping vintage. I was like only listening to the music from like the 1920s to like the 1950s, and so I think, yes, as I was making my way through university, I think I was like, this is a dance I have never tried before, and I thought it was very daring, and it was before I ever did fine art modeling. And I've never did anything striptease before in my ballet or anything prior, so I think I was just, it was just like good timing. I was
they'll give you extra points for that. Yeah.
Sorry?
They'll give you extra points for that, for stripping and ballet in competitions.
Well, yeah, I strip now. But yeah, I think I was just, it just was really fitting for the time of my life at the moment, and I definitely fell in love with it. I was dancing with Hot Pink Feathers. They were a dance troupe, and we were doing San Francisco Parade. It was a lot of fun, and I obviously loved the costume. So I used to make my own type of burlesque costumes even before that. So yeah, it was like just little things. Like I used to make my own pasties and like sequins. So yeah, I think I always had these little. I wasn't always heavily into creating like massive things, but I definitely was into the crafts and into the outfit.
Yeah. Did you make the tassels also?
Yes, yeah, I made a few. They're back in the States now, but I just remember it as like my the start to like what would be develop even now, which is I am also doing striptease performances and stop motion dance for my fine art sessions. So yeah, it's nice to be doing that again, and even to incorporate a little costume. And I think, especially even with the pandemic, things are still closed now. It's still nice to be able to have some sort of stage.
Yeah.
Even if it's online,
Yeah, the kind of physical world is being abandoned left and right, and we are left here in this space. Maybe this is a kind of an echo chamber, but it's like an elevator that is filled to the brim with people.
Yes.
That's the description of the modern world, with the kind of introduction of the internet, and adding to that mix the pandemic, shall we say.
Mhm.
So what do you
Yeah.
think about living in this kind of mini matrix style world where all the possibilities exist and intersect with each other, and nobody knows who's what and what it is and what is. What do you think about this current renaissance age of stupidity?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I mean, I think at the start of the pandemic is kind of when um, I started actually getting kind of more exposed to more to, yes, the online web world as the world was crashing. So it was at first kind of fun for me because I was like, yes, I'm ready for I'm ready for societal collapse. Like everything.
So thank you so much.
So I was like, it's happening.
Yes.
Like we had this virus, and now things have to change. Like this is the housing crisis. Like
Yes.
I was like, this is not. It cannot go on anymore. And it is somehow. We're still continuing. So at first I was kind of like. I was very Wild West about it. I was just like, whatever, the world's gonna burn. And I think now that I'm out of kind of the corporate world, I'm not working for any fashion labels right now, so I'm very much like on my own in the art world. I'm like kind of like I'm ready for all of that stuff to end, and we need to stop. We're making too many clothes, we're making too many products. And anyway, so I was just like, okay, so this is the point where everything has to change. So at first I was excited, but then as time goes by, nothing happens. Things have happened, lots of things happened, but like as far as
Yes.
collapse, we're still have relatively our day to day lives. So yeah, like I mentioned, I'm sort of waiting for a societal collapse, but I'm also I kind of like this sort of like no holds bars. I feel like I feel like it's about time. I just feel like a lot needs to change, and the people who are on top necessarily shouldn't be. And so I feel like it's a great time for change. I'm like hoping, I'm on the edge of my seat that something positive and big happens next, for our society, and like fuck the economy, like but for humanity.
What economy? What economy? There's no economy. It's just the social media and marketing.
Exactly.
The economy is dead. Yeah,
exactly. It's just rich
it's
people's,
just the digital marketing and commercials and commercialism. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually having really great time. Also being able to kind of have no holds bars on my sessions as well. So I definitely do some digs at make my societal comments and dig. So it's kind of just my way of like, showing where I stand without like showing where I stand. But no, it's pretty obvious. But just a way to communicate kind of short of how I'm feeling about things. And so it's fun to express myself in that way.
Have you ever had some kind of sort of prophecies where you were witnessing firsthand the end of existence, or the end of the world, or the eradication of the old order, or world order, shall we say?
To have I had any prophecies? I mean, I read lots of people who have. I think I have this idea where I'm like, we all have like, it's like, when our idea of when the world will end or something will change. But it's really out of our hands. We really have no idea. But I've been really loving the authors I've been reading lately who have interpreted, have made an interpretation, and in a lot of cases have come true. And one of those authors is Octavia Butler, and she's
Okay. Yeah.
African American sci-fi author, and she literally is everything she has written in her book. I have both of them, Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents. Definitely highly recommend. It's super apocalyptic, and it's very more for I guess the United States, but definitely depicts on basically what's happened to the United States recently, and but it's even more devastating and lots more killing and more violence, if you can imagine. But so I've been I'm not making my own prophecies, but doing research of people who already have, and they did this even like in the 50 years ago. I think Octavia Butler was writing in the 80s even, and so it's so I know it's something is coming, but I think at this point now I can no longer wait because I feel like last year it was like, okay, I could maybe see an end point, and now I'm kind of like, okay, we gotta just like roll with the punches now. And so I'm still actually kind of happy with, I'm not happy, like obviously I'm not like everything is great, blah, blah, blah. But yes, like slowly, like things are breaking, and the things that aren't working for, aren't working for people. And so I'm like really hoping that it happens soon. But for now, I'm kind of like I'm fucking up the system from the inside, So, like,
thank you so much for that. Yeah.
And I'm gonna have fun in the meantime, because we don't know how long this thing is gonna last, So I'm no longer holding my breath, but so there's my position.
So so moving along our road of perdition, have you ever had any kinds of outer body experiences or moments of pure grace or magic that happened throughout the course of your life?
Like, have I experienced one specific thing?
Whatever comes to mind, it doesn't matter.
Oh my God, there's so many things. And I think, especially since I moved to Berlin, a lot of magical things have happened. But I think, oh, wow. Okay, well, I think that maybe the biggest thing, which is so funny, is I think my journey here to Berlin, and I think it was all started and catapulted at such a young age, and it's so funny because I never thought I would be living here and like into this lifestyle at the time. I had no idea I was so young, but I think once I started to discover like erotica literature, I was just like reading like Honey Teen, for example, and like little things in high school, and so I think the super magical is like these little seeds. I had a book on like women in electronic music, and I was reading like I don't know, other artists that I liked, and like Jimi Hendrix, for example, and I was reading Patti Smith, and so all these little things kind of like I could see the trail of where, like, I was reading Patti Smith and I ended up in San Francisco, and like I was first interested in, I don't know, in the body, and loving the body, and so that whole like my whole career path in life has been kind of centered around that. And so it's pretty magical to look back, and you can't really know it's happening while it's happening. Like some things I think are really profound, it's you're more conscious of it, but being so young, I think you're just kind of like, oh, you're 6 months, you're like, oh, okay, I like that, that's cool. And but I think enough time has been by to like look back, and it's like everything's happened. It's been magic working through.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it, that everything that happens is magic. But you sometimes you see how the sausage is made, shall we say, and you say to yourself, well, my magic doesn't exist so much as people do exist and are very real and virile even. But I want to. I'm having trouble kind of going down this path with you of
I'm
perdition.
sorry.
No, no. I enjoy the conversation, of course. I'm loving every moment of it. But to talk about again, this kind of movement is very important. This movement also. This gesture. I'm going to ask you a very controversial question about art, which I ask everyone because I try to get on artists. I'm an art teacher and an English teacher, and it affects every facet of my being because I have a musical year. I play and I write poetry and I do all those kinds of stuff. Yes, I want to be. Yes.
What instrument do you play?
Sorry?
What instrument do you play?
I play the guitar and piano, but I haven't played for a long while, so I'm a little out of practice, yeah.
I bet you still got it. It will come back. But
Yeah.
I played the violin also since I was 12.
Wow, yeah, I would love to play.
Yeah,
I would, yeah, that's my dream, yeah.
Ship over my mind. But I dabbled in the guitar, but I only stuck with it for about 2 years, I think. And then I should try it again though.
Yeah. So
anyway, all right.
I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. Again. What is the purpose of art?
Oh God. Well, I feel like there's like a boring answer and then like there's an elaborate like it's like psychological answer, but I mean, I think the bottom line is the goal is to share an expression. Like this is the simplest definition I can give. Share an idea or an expression, and I feel like it's just it's different, very different at its core to every artist because they're doing everything that they're doing for a different reason. But I think at the end of the day, it's at our core, it's we're expressing a feeling, emotion, an idea.
Yeah. When I think about the kind of clash of civilizations between the scientific kind of areas and fields to the art and the humanities, I feel that, you know, the kind of scientific or the high-tech sort of figures and people that go on to make, I don't know, ridiculous amounts of paper, shall we say, and they kind of, you know, reflect back and then they become poets and artists and they try to make movies and they try to write plays. And I'm saying you don't get to start, so it's too late for you. What do you think about
that? I hate that also. Because, you know, I mean, even if they found their way to whatever, you know, their expressions, like at their core, like it wasn't who they were. And I guess obviously, you know, whatever, we should forgive. But yeah, I know, you should never, forgive, never forget. And or just like be wary of people, I think, who could have like ulterior motives. But, you know, some people, I think, it is possible for them to have found the like, but yeah, generally it's like, just gotta be careful.
Yeah. So you're essentially dressed as if I can, as a widow, maybe, but you're mourning not the loss of your supposed husband, but the loss of humanity, maybe, or the.
There we go. Loss of humanity.
Yes. Now I get it.
Yeah. Yes, praying the funeral of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. At first, I was a bit scared. You looked like some kind of a horror movie monster, or a kind of a shadowy,
Really? Oh my God! I know, it was so
yes,
scary.
a shadowy NPC from a game or something. But that tells you, yeah, maybe you have two other sisters and you're holding an eyeball all for yourselves. You try to prophesy the future. But now I get it. Now I get a little bit. I'm hoping
Okay.
yeah, I'm hoping I didn't offend you, but I'm just trying to make
No,
things.
no. I mean, it's the vibes. You're just picking up what I'm putting down. It is what it is.
Yeah, you're planting the seed in me, so I can, I can kind of prompt your kind of arguments or your talking points. So you're planting a seed in me that will flower in our conversation. Did you ever have encounters? You're a kind of a cemetery ghost, but have you encountered other ghosts in your life or had a paranormal activity surrounding you in any form or fashion?
No, you know what? No, and I think I've been very, very blessed to not have any ghosts that following me my whole life. I've definitely always been wary of them, but I think when it comes down to it, like I've never had any, like nothing like coming to me at night. Like, I definitely I've watched a lot of films recently on these matters, and yeah, it's been very lucky to not have anyone follow me. However, though, nature is its own force, and definitely have moments where, Mother Nature, goddess is like, I'm here, and those moments are just as scary.
I'm here. I'm here with a knife. Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here with through nature, through the weather. I think I remember Ilya one time was like, yeah, I don't know, we were having like a crazy day, and it was in the winter, and he was like, we were talking about climate change, because we had like very heated conversation, not heated, but we get very,
passionate. Yeah.
Certain topics, and he was like, he shouted, "It was supposed to be snowing outside," and it hadn't snowed, and it's like, I guess it was due to have snowed. I don't know. It was late winter, and then it immediately started snowing, and I was like,
"Damn!"
I was like, "That is
God.
It's good talking to us. What did we do?" Yeah. But it was kind of cool. But yeah, so like I don't know, just in the wind. You just gotta nature.
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but people will probably know that we made this conversation on the Friday the 13th.
Yes, I was like, I like it.
Yes, it was a great timing. I had no idea. I forgot it was the 13th. So what is your favorite kind of a horror movie?
What is my favorite kind?
Yeah, no, what is your favorite horror movie?
Oh, my favorite of all time. Oh, wow. I mean, like I said, this year we were watching the classic. I think I like the classic zombie films like Day of the Dead. There's a lot of different, there's like Day of the Dead, Day of the Dead. There's 3 different types, and the title is all very similar to each other. But I think they're from the 70s.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Also.
Yeah, there we go, Dawn of the Dead. But I think no, it's with the black guy in the house, and I'm so sorry, I do not remember. But yeah, so I think actually that was my most. We watched so many, and this is the most recent and the one I've most enjoyed. I think I hate when you watch. Well, no, they all ended up dying, I guess, but it's very unexpected. Yeah, it was like not your typical storyline. Anyway, what else? Yeah, I don't know. It's been a zombie year. I think also because I've been researching a lot about voodoo and African religion, and so we've been watching lots of zombie movies this year.
Yeah. So
how about
do you prescribe to any the kind of the tenets of voodoo or the kind of religion or whatever it is?
Do I what?
Do you prescribe to some of the voodoo traditions or beliefs?
So I think this is the first time I'm really diving into this topic, and the first time really doing research and like watching videos and reading books. I'm reading Go Tell My Horse by Zora Neale Hurston, and it's really amazing account of her experience in voodoo culture in Haiti and Jamaica. So I'm learning also about hoodoo, which is in New Orleans. So I guess I'm more so relating to it just from my African descent side, and really more interested in learning because this was our original religion in Africa. I'm also a Native American and African. So like a couple.
Wow.
And so it's not like so much where I'm finding super like, oh, I need to do this one ritual from voodoo like every Friday the 13th. I don't have no practices yet, but I'm really finding like this enjoyment. And
you have to get your cauldron. You have to get your cauldron to make the elixir. Yeah.
It's Friday the 13th. I definitely need to get my cauldron out, my candles. Yes. But I think, if anything, I am relating to all of it just because I'm just now, like I said, learning more so about it. So kind of just appreciating all of it. There's no aspect of, I don't have really any like, oh, I love this spell or I love this ritual. I'm kind of just like taking it all in because there's so much. And it also kind of even changes in the different regions of Africa. So I'm just kind of like taking it all in now and being just like, okay, cool. I think as I mentioned, I grew up in a Christian home. And so my mom was like, she thinks, and as a lot of people grew up thinking that voodoo is like God, and even she's African and my mom doesn't know anything. I'm like, this is our original religion. Like, why are we Christian? So I guess relating to, the whole of it, but yes, I will let you know if I find a practice where I'm conjuring, making spells. But it's not about that. It's about worship of the nature.
Yes. So what did the kind of allocation from America, from the West Coast to Berlin did for you, and why did you want to go in the first place? What were you thinking you would achieve in the continent of Europe?
Oh, yes. Well, I think I didn't know I wanted to live in, I didn't know I wanted to live in Europe so soon, I would say. I think like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I would love to live in Paris someday. But I was like later in my 30s or something. And so I thought I was going to be in New York for a very long time and stay there. But I think I started traveling on a lot more on my own, just like solo traveling without like family or friends. And I was kind of curious to see, like, I don't know, how other people were living, what are people doing? Is everyone also like working themselves into the ground like we are here in New York? And is like everyone okay with that? Like, okay. And the answer is no. No, like Americans are doing this, and maybe some people might be in London, I don't know. But yeah, I just found a completely different focus in life here, and I was just like, that I never dreamed of. So I was like, what? So thought it was amazing, like to go out places, like no one has, you're not taking selfies, like there's no phones, especially a lot in the clubs here in the night scene. And so I don't know, I was just like really enamored by this whole like, it just seemed like another underground like world, especially more specifically here in Berlin. And I just loved it, and I feel like I kind of fell in love with life when I started just kind of out here. And I only was supposed to come here for a visit, and I came back again, and I ended up staying. So it's like, this That's just, yeah, kind of how it happened. But I think more so also when I was working in fashion, there were a lot of interesting labels, latex brands, leather brands that I was researching. Also a lot of really amazing brands in London, and kind of had my eye on. So I wanted to know, yeah, where these brands came from, and they're so ahead of the curve. And now, like, we see bondage and all of this stuff, latex, it's everywhere, but they didn't have on that stuff over here, you know. So I was, so I think, yeah, now you don't have to. You can find more of that stuff in America, but before it was more specialty, and just also the club and having the kinky, you know, mixed with the nightlife. It's like, it's, yeah, nothing I've ever heard or seen of, the openness, you know, nude beaches. So I just fell in love with I don't know, yeah, with just like life here, refell in love with life here, and also just help me also to fall in love with, so a cliche, but with more with myself. I never thought I could have, you know, could live off of my modeling or my dancing. That's why I studied fashion. So I was like, okay, I need to be business, I need to study this business. You know? And then I came out here and was like, oh yeah, okay, people want me to do this, I think it will work. And it was just like, so.
Well, you really do have to study the kind of business side to art, because nobody will teach you that. You have to learn on your own. That's the shame of it. So a lot of kind of artists and creatives are falling by the wayside because they can't handle their businesses, or to you know, brandish their brand, or to grow their kind of I don't know, their logo or their portfolio, to expose it to more potential clients. Yeah,
I think also it just depends on what your I don't want to say goal, but what you want to do. It depends what you want to do. You know, I feel like some people, I feel like not everything needs to be turned into a commodity. I think a lot of the things that even I do that are arts that are just straight for fun, like my poetry, when I, you know, make some fruity loops.
I've been meaning to get to that, to report to the poetry part, portion.
Oh yeah, yes. But we'll get there. But
hold on.
What?
Hold your horses,
Yes, hold your horses, I'm coming. But also like to tattoo. And so I think we're in a time also that where, I don't know, I think with the pandemic also people needed arts, and they didn't necessarily need to get on it to make another buck, but they just needed an escape. They needed something a way to express how they're feeling, what's going on in this world, like, you know, discover something more about themselves. And so I feel that art is available for all of these reasons, and it doesn't straight necessarily need to be turned into a commodity unless that's your goal. And if that's your goal, then like that's what you'll be focused on. But I think that, you know, social media has got us all like, you know, needing to, you know, push ourselves or do something that we would, I don't know, just everything that you do, like are you selling it? Like, what are you making? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, where are you selling it? Where are you land? And I think that's just kind of, it's killing art, needing it to be in this form of fashion constantly all the time. And so I don't know, in between about that. But yes, I think it is really helpful to learn, you know, but there's, you know, the business side of anything. But I think even if anything now, there's lots of tools available that you can figure it out. And everyone, I think a lot of people are shifting to working, you know, like being entrepreneurs, working. We're in this world that mostly everyone is freelancing now. So I think people are learning, you know, they're figuring it out.
Entrepreneurs. I'm going to kill myself.
I know, I hate to use these like,
I'm going to kill myself if I will see one more person describing himself as an entrepreneur. I don't care.
I do not want to, but you're working for your, you know, you're leading your own life. Can we change
You're not
it?
an entrepreneur. No. Yes.
Leading your own life, what we're saying. but no, so I think it's great if you, that's your goal, but sometimes art is just there for you to enjoy for yourself, and if you want to share it or, let people see it, then that's great. But I feel like, I hate I love social media because definitely it connects us all, all of us, connects all of us.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Very beneficial. However, I do not like the fact that, it's turned everything that you're doing literally every second into, how am I going to sell this, and how are people, it just really changes the scope of what you do, but anyway, it is what it is.
So I think before we finish up here with this amazing character called Janique and conversation, you are a true kept lady. And
yes, Captain Cat Lady.
Yes. I want to hear a poem read by you, if you're not
one of my poems?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pull one up for you. Oh God, which one? Okay. This one, okay, I could do the Altogether Awakening, which is more of a commentary on society and societal collapsing, if you're interested in that, since that's touched upon our topics.
Yeah, of course.
Or I could do a shorter one titled Individualism versus Community. So
sounds good. Why not? I'll get whatever there is on the menu. Yeah.
I don't know which. Okay.
Okay, no worries.
I can do. I know. I'm just choosing. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just like, I didn't want it to be.
We can do it another time.
I will do I want to Fame Kills? Yeah, sorry, I have a lot I just written recently. I'll do the Altogether Awakening because I have.
Let's go.
Not available anywhere. Okay, the Altogether Awakening. What has this virus taught us? It has taught me many, many things. Mostly about myself, which I realized I had already knew and confirmed to believe in me, in my journey, which is to truth, for those of you who have not read my bio. We already knew the system is and was broken since the beginning of its time. Inside lies death to its core, meaning death to you. I was ready, mistakenly expecting the fucking revolution, which I thought would have come only months into that first lockdown. Well, I guess not, because this shit is still running on a thin thread, thick with lies, purposeful ignorance, and injustice. You think your country is great? Well, think again. John Waters said, if you don't like it here, leave. And this, I do agree. However, altogether, have we not seen enough people suffering, dying, including most parts of our own selves? Most don't even have the time or are even blessed to be in a place to stop whatever it is they are doing. And I mean everything they are doing, and realize themselves as deteriorating, let alone have the ability to receive adequate help before it's too late. I have been so blessed to be part of the few to say, fuck you, long before this moment. If I had not, I wouldn't be here, alive, writing these words today. I have seen the door to death 4 times, but not really, for you see nothing when you're blacked out from anxiety, from overworking, from my concern over this vastly fading humanity. The ignorance, which is the true pandemic. God has blessed America, but America doesn't give 2 shits about you. Wake the fuck up. So why do we keep playing, partaking in this game of death, violent death? This is what I had thought. Collectively, more would have come to realize, and immediately, or if not so immediately, shift to a conclusion that the least, to know this way is no way, and all wrong. And to then desperately search for a way out. And some have. I hope to meet you someday. Or not, whatever you want, as I'm also an introvert and value my alone time. To think, to not think, to conserve my body, my energy, my love for myself, so I can be better to myself and others. We are all criminals, all prostitutes. Ha, you think you're conservative? Well, think again, and then think some fucking more, please. Your quote, God-led lifestyle, end quote, is exactly, precisely, godless. You worship a made-up piece of paper. Your church is built from the blood of the others and your own people. If there still is hate in your bones for any animal, man, woman, camera, TV, if you still need to place others below or above you, other than Mother Earth herself, if you have no regard for others' way through this life, as this is truly the only thing we all have to our own and to our own God, gods, goddesses, to our Mother Earth. If you think your way is the only way to the way, you are fucking wrong. I was hoping for and believe this virus would at least teach all of us collectively one thing. We need to stop what we are all fucking doing. The planet is changing. Recycling is broken worldwide. Does Flint even have clean water yet? And why are there equal amounts of growing abandoned spaces compared to the growing population of homeless, etc.? There are too many fucking clothes. We can no longer keep doing what we are doing, not myself included, as mentioned, because I stopped all what I was doing. Again, as I mentioned, it almost killed me. Alas, I digress, because here we all are. So go ahead, push and push and push yourselves and others into nothing. But I will continue to live my own life out of this modern day slave ship. You all really seem to love boats. Hope you read Moby Dick. Dick, I'm sure, is this someone's name in office, and the name of many in more ways than one. Okay.
And scene, yeah?
And scene. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, it's kind of long. I was like, is it too long?
Yeah, it's almost a short epic, yeah.
Short epic.
Yes, a tiny epic.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was, I wrote it, did I write it? Yeah, I wrote it at the end of the first pandemic. It was a lot,
Yeah.
We're still in it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like a lot of the things running through your poems. And I want to thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Yes, this gesture is also we can't say what it is or we'll be canceled. And then, no, because, sorry?
I said, yes, we just leave the visuals.
Yes, of course. To anyone listening, this is this is wonderful. You have to share it with your friends, family, cats, your kept husbands, and your kept man, or your
Yeah.
kept ladies, or your co-workers, or whoever. Share this podcast, listen to it again and again, because I think it deserves more than one listening. And I want to thank you so much, Janique, and say goodbye and thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.